Good evening, baseball fans. It is Sunday, June 2nd. I am Suzy. That is Kelsey. This is Bourbon and Baseball, all the balls edition. And it is an actual good evening because I was going to say the Cardinals walked off the Phillies, but it's not. They didn't walk off the Phillies. They just won in extra innings. That,
Even more
that's
impressive. Yeah, they
really
actually had, I guess it's not really, it's neither here nor there, but they won in extra innings versus the Phillies in Philly.
Oh,
I can't believe it happened, honestly, especially because the Cardinals are working with a B-level roster right now, given the injuries and circumstances. So I was not holding my breath, but they kept up the good fight and they got it done.
good. All right. We'll talk about the Cardinals fully more in just a little bit. But before we do that, I'm going to give you guys the rated R warning because this is a rated R podcast for all of the 4-letter words, all of the cuss words, probably some inappropriate adult humor, but none of the nudity because that's not what we do around here. That's on the other podcast. No, I'm just kidding. Not over here. Not on this podcast. So you just give us the money to talk about the baseballs, but that's it.
Only for your listening pleasure.
Just for that. So if that is not your jam, totally okay. If you've got the littles around, you should probably put some earmuffs on them because, again, this is a rated R podcast for all of the 4-letter words. So if you don't want them learning new 4-letter words, skedaddle on out of here. If you yourself not comfortable with the 4-letter words, I was going to say there are probably many other baseball podcasts that don't cuss, but I'm trying to think of one that doesn't actually cuss that talks about all of the baseball. And I don't know if I have one of those in my Rolodex of baseball podcasts. So I guess you're just SOL. Sorry about that. With that said, we're just going to roll right into it. And someone who doesn't give you the rated R warning before they speak,
Yeah.
Pham.
We had to get to the
Tommy
rated R
Pham.
warning before we hit the headlines today because
Yeah.
TommyPham is, quote, prepared to fuck somebody up. And when I saw this, Suzy, I thought of you immediately. How did you feel about TommyPham's game against the Brewers today?
Listen, he is DTF. He is down to fight anytime, any place, apparently. Okay. That's what DTF means, right? Down to fight.
Yep.
Don't start nothing. There will be nothing. And it just fire me all the way up. Fire me all the way up. Also, the White Sox broadcast I don't know who that broadcaster is because I have a feeling that Jace Benetti, who was the White Sox broadcaster, would not be referring to it as we. We do not care how many L's we have. We're not going to take that from the Brewers. At no point in time do I think Jason Benetti was using a we. Okay. But if you guys haven't seen this, I'm going to have to link it in the show notes because it is gold. It is 100% gold because the broadcaster was fired up. TommyPham was fired up. Now, let me explain what had happened. Brewers against the White Sox. William Contreras, catcher for the Brewers. TommyPham gets thrown out at home. And TommyPham apparently was going to the dugout and William Contreras was going to bark at him. TommyPham did not take kindly to barking. TommyPham said, "Not in my life, motherfucker." I don't think that was his actual words.
It might
But
have
it was
been
close. And the umpires had to come out and break it up. And there was no fisticuffs. There was no kerfuffles. There were none of that. But there was lots of barking, lots and lots of barking. And then afterwards, TommyPham had said something to the effect of, "That's why in the off season I fight so much so that I can stay ready." So, well,
to fuck somebody up. And he was like air punching it in the outfield.
he was ready. Like,
I
he was
think
ready.
the most kind of ironic thing about this is not only would TommyPham like be a potential fit for the Brewers at the deadline, but he also like the Brewers are the ones that keep having all these bench clearing brawls and had that Pat Murphy fire in them this season, and he would actually be a great fit for that team for
Oh
multiple.
my God.
I don't
No,
know that I
I
see
want
it happening.
Give me TommyPham. I want TommyPham on the Astros so badly. I need that type of energy and the type of fire in the dugout because we have none of it. We have none of it. We had a little bit of that with Carlos Correa with the whole, what time is it? Like that whole kind of swaggy. And we don't have it anymore. We don't have any of that fire. We don't have it. It's fire. I need TommyPham in my dugout so badly. And it cracks me up. At no point in time do I think the Astros are going to trade for a 36-year-old outfielder. Stranger things happened. Stranger things have happened in life. All right. But I loved it. And if you have been a listener of Bourbon and Baseball, you know how much I love TommyPham. And you know how much I think TommyPham brings that je ne sais quoi to a team. Just saying. Bring me TommyPham. Can hurt. Probably could hurt a little bit, but
Yeah, it might. Depends. I don't know
yeah.
who it's gonna hurt, but
Yeah. I want TommyPham fighting for me by my side because I'm pretty sure if he wasn't a baseball player, he probably could get into a ring somewhere and fuck some shit up. That's neither here nor there, though, because I do want to say, though, that they are making some sort of moves. Andrew Benintendi went on the IL after going, I don't know, 1 for 36 or ridiculous.
Oh, he
I say
went
that,
on
I
the
don't know.
IL.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
But maybe he didn't. Maybe he actually did have to go on the IL, but who knows? Who
Sure.
knows?
Sometimes, sometimes the reason you're not performing is because something is actually wrong. That's very true.
For the Mariners, I don't think the IL is the reason that they can't hit, but apparently the Mariners think that bringing in a new hitting coach will be the fix because they got rid of their offensive coordinator, bench coach. You think that's a good move? Salad move? What do you think, Kels?
I don't know. You just saw the Mariners up close and personal. It's no secret that they are not competitive offensively in the way that a playoff team needs to be. But is that the coach's fault or is it the roster construction?
We're trying to win 54% of our games. We're doing that, bro. I don't see the problem. Also, just a big fuck you to the MLBPA and the Umpires Association because I, with my tinfoil hat, was going to be like, it's really not skewed in the Mariners' favor. That's just me with my orange colored glasses and my Homer hat. All 4 games skewed directly in the Mariners' favor. And just when those games were as close as they were, some of those missed calls, hey, guess what? Do affect at bat. Do affect at bat decisions. And it just, that's neither here nor there. Also, it's June. So hopefully the Astros are heating up. Maybe. Hopefully. Because if not, I will just have to.
My hope is that they're not going to heat up in the
like,
next few days, but that's just my personal.
We definitely need to heat up after. We need to definitely heat up. Now, had we split that series with the Mariners and then won against the Twins, we could have taken it easy out against the Cardinals. But no, now we definitely need to win or else we are going to be in a huge hole. And we don't like huge holes over here. We don't like to fill those. Anything. So we shall see. Did you see the whole Lopez debacle like in real time?
Yeah. Yeah. I saw the whole thing play out and it was really interesting because I did not see the actual part of the game where he threw his glove. So he threw his glove high enough that it went over like the protective netting and into the crowd, which is like an automatic fine because that's certainly against the rules. Not something we like have never seen before, but not something that you see typically. It's frowned upon for obvious reasons. And then, but I did see the post game interview in real time, mostly because I just was like putting it on in the background to listen to the Mets long, slow, drawn out implosion. But then it just threw some gas on the fire real quick and heated it up. And in the moment, it didn't even occur to me that it could have been misconstrued, which since then it has come out. But yeah, it basically he was quoted saying, he did say in English, he was giving the interview in English, which is his second language. I don't know if he typically gives interviews in Spanish, but he has worked hard to speak English and to give interviews in Spanish. And there was not a translator present with him for whatever reason, as there absolutely should be in all circumstances. And certainly in this case, when he's doing live post game interviews. But it came across to us, the viewers, that Jorge Lopez said that he was on the worst fucking team in Major League Baseball. And the media did attempt to do their due diligence and he was asked to clarify himself given the language barrier, and it appeared to double down and say, yes, no, I said I am the worst teammate on the worst team in MLB. Obviously not a good look if that is the case. Not a good look even with the glove throwing thing, but whatever. So the next thing we hear within a matter of hours is that he's been DFA'd by the Mets. What was your initial reaction to this?
First off, I was a little shocked. One, that he didn't have a translator with him. And then 2, that not even any of the teammates were around. To say, oh, wait, hold on, let's back up. And I want to say that again, English is his secondary language. Spanish, obviously, is his first. So the fact that I'm not saying that Francisco Lindor should have stepped up and been like, whoa, let me just clarify this, but the fact that none of the teammates stepped up doesn't give a good light to the whole
Yeah.
story. And the fact that the differentiation between teammate versus team in English, again, there's no way, even if I was like fluent in Korean, would I be comfortable doing any sort of live anything in
Right.
Korean. So I think part of that is on the Mets organization to not have a translator
Yes.
there now. But I want to zoom out and talk about the whole glove throwing. Now, Jorge Lopez has been used by the Mets in lots of innings. Like he has been an
Mhm.
innings eater for the Mets. But apparently it has come out that he has this son that's really ill. And on that day, apparently he had gotten some bad news about his son. And so I think with the I think it was a home run that he gave up that was just basically like the boiling point, like the tipping over
Yeah.
point for Jorge Lopez. But regardless of what we think of him as a baseball player, he's a human being.
Yep.
And I know that we love to put the baseball players in this box and this is what you need to be doing. Like what? And they're not robots as much as we would love to put them in that box.
Yep.
He's a human being with human feelings and human emotions. And unfortunately, those human emotions just build out. And it's unfortunate that if the Mets say that the DFA decision wasn't really about his behavior, that it was already set in motion
Yeah.
before this.
Sure.
And then this was like the last straw,
Yeah.
which is neither here nor there. He's going to get picked up by another team of that I'm sure. I could have sworn at some point he was on the Astros, but I looked it up and I'm like, am I on crack? I obviously am because at no point in time was he on the Astros. But he's gonna land on his feet somewhere. Some team is gonna pick him up because he is a decent reliever. And I hate that on the worst day, words were
Yeah.
misconstrued and it seemed like he lost his job over it. And it just sucks.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It
No,
just
I
absolutely sucks.
I couldn't agree more. It seems like a perfect storm that seemingly put him in a bad light between, yeah, the fact that he was just genuinely I can't even possibly imagine what it would be like to, first of all, even be under the stress to be able to handle yourself as a Major League Baseball player day in and day out, but then on top of that, to be dealing with the stress of a sick family member, let alone a child, and then to also be really going through it with the organization the way that the Mets are. And that's the thing is you made a great point about a teammate stepping in or something like that too. Like that also just speaks volumes along with the fact that the organization did not support him with the translator and even just the way that like they just absolutely hung him out to dry and did him dirty now that all the facts have come out. And it says more, it speaks more volumes to the organization and the way that they handled it than it does to Jorge Lopez and his character specifically. And we've seen Melanie Newman, Eric Kratz, like people very well respected in the game and in the media who have come out and said wonderful things about his character as a teammate
Hmm.
and as Melanie has interacted with him in the media with the Orioles before. So when you hear all of that and work through everything, I think at the end of the day, it's like you said, it's bad on the Mets. And it's just another kind of thorn in the side of what they're going through as an organization right now.
Absolutely. And we give all of the baseball players crap about giving these canned baseball answers
Mhm.
because we want the truth. We want the
Yeah.
real feelings. But then when the real feelings come out, then the media and the general public jump all over said baseball player for saying their actual thoughts.
Yep.
So we can't have it both ways. You can't get mad at baseball players for having these canned answers, then also be mad at the baseball players for blowing up and having human emotion.
Yeah. For wearing their heart on their
You
sleeve.
can't do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I get snippy and cranky when I have to deal with like 2 9-year-olds. At no point in time could I ever imagine having to have a blow up outing where my failures are on display for
Yep.
millions to see.
And then stick a
And then
camera in your face
having, yeah,
as soon as you're
then
done.
having a microphone shoved in my face. So
Mhm.
how did that make you feel? Motherfucker, how do you think it made me feel? It made me
Right.
lunch. Like
Right.
it
This is how
felt
Suzy would
good.
react.
There may be lots of choice words. TommyPham and I would, yes. But
You would have to just wear a shirt with a disclaimer on it.
mhm. Yeah, yeah. Rated R, NC-17. Yeah, for sure. It's one of those. You can't have it both ways. You can't have the baseball players. Literally, you lost in extra innings. You couldn't get runners across. What do you think happened tonight? The fuck do you think happened? Just like we didn't have a fucking good night,
How do you
people.
think
Like
you're
I
playing
just,
me? Like
yeah,
dog shit. I don't know what you want me to say.
I want somebody to do that at one point in time, and just so that I can laugh, like what Tommy Pham did tonight. because he just mic dropped it and was like, "I'm out."
Yeah, I did like how he walked away. Yes, after he said that and was like, yeah, it was a mic drop moment.
Yep.
Absolutely.
This is all I have to say, and that's it. But again, people, just like how literally everybody villainized Anthony Rendon for saying that baseball wasn't his entire world.
Mhm.
I get it. So I understand people, he's getting paid a lot of fucking money to not play baseball right now. I get it. I understand. But I feel like a lot of baseball players actually feel that way.
Sure.
But if it
Yeah.
was Freddie Freeman saying that, I feel like
Yeah.
it would be received a whole hell of a lot differently.
Yeah,
Right?
it's way more totally, and we talked about this when that all came out, but it's way more like how he said it versus what he said, and
Yeah.
again, yeah, the perception, the narrative that's, like, already around him. Mhm.
So it's just, it's people. It's people. People.
Yeah, the Mets are a bit of a dumpster fire at the moment, but they do have some upcoming excitement around the organization. I feel like they're where the Cardinals were at this point last year, where the Cardinals were like, "But we're going to London." And the Mets are going to London. The Mets and the Phillies are traveling to the UK for the London series this weekend. They're going to play Saturday and Sunday, the 8th and the 9th, I believe. And I wanted to talk to you about this, Suzy, because I got to go to the London series last year and it was really cool. And if honestly, if I wasn't moving halfway across the country that very day, I might have had the chance to go again because my sister lives in London. But I wanted to talk to you about some of the featured food because they have a lot of different food restrictions in the UK that we don't have here. And it's all based around the fact that they have a preventative healthcare system. So they don't like to put the dyes and the additives and the things because the UK government pays for a lot more healthcare. And so they like to try to be preventative. Whereas here in the United States, we're just going to let you try it all and fuck yourself up. And then we'll deal with it if we have to, which to each their
Yeah.
own. There are pros and cons to all of it. Not here to debate that. But I want to tell you about the now infamous London series Boomtown Hot Dog and the Boomtown Nachos and see which one you would prefer. So the Boomtown Hot Dog is a 2-foot long dog that is loaded with braised beef and chili, topped with jalapenos, nacho cheese, and sour cream. It does say that it is designed to be shared between 4 friends. Town nachos, just like the hot dog, fans can also sink their teeth into a 2-foot serving of tortilla chips, topped with a generous helping of nacho cheese, chili, jalapeno peppers, sour cream, spring onions, and salsa. Now, I do want to clarify the nacho cheese because since I have had firsthand experience with this, nacho cheese in the form that we get it at the ballpark, absolutely illegal in the UK. Not allowed because it's not. Yeah, word. So it's sprinkle cheese. It's like actual real cheese. So it's like a little less like sickening, but still, there's a lot going on there. If you're at the London series, Suzy, you're pulling up, you going Boomtown hot dog or Boomtown nachos?
I'm going Boomtown hot dog, baby.
Uh-huh.
That's what I'm doing. However, I need I have questions though, because we always hear about how ridiculous the portions are in America compared to everywhere else.
Yeah.
And I can only imagine UK fans ordering this massive thing, this tube with hot dog, and being like, no wonder the United States people are fat pig. This is what you're getting.
Yeah. And it's straight, it's the sheer size of it is like the whole point of it. There's nothing else like special or unique about it. They're like, this is America. This is America's favorite pastime. And this is what represents America to us. Like just blind indulgence. Yes. They're
Ay,
also
ay,
gonna
ay.
have though, I do think this is cool. They have a featured food item from each of the 2 cities that are gonna be represented. So they're gonna have New York pastrami sandwiches and Philly cheesesteaks. Which one of those 2 would you be more apt to go for?
Probably a Philly cheesesteak, but I'm not crazy about either one of those.
Yeah, I'm definitely more of a cheesesteak gal myself. I do it's already packed, but I do have the other, like, nice featured item that they have is the beer bat souvenir. It's like the same bat that you can
Okay.
get at
Yeah.
most of the stadiums, but it has, like, the MLB London Series logo on it. So
I
I do
think I
have
have one of
those.
those from the Rangers. It's from Arlington Globe Field, I think.
What? Have
Somewhere.
it, like,
But you
all over it or something?
no, but that's the see, I thought that it would be flat on the bottom so that you could set it down.
Yeah, no,
Not, it's rounded on the bottom.
not
So
super practical. Yeah, no.
yeah, so you're
And
just
it's
like
really
fucked and just like
hard.
holding it.
Yeah. Pro tip, it's really hard to drink it when it gets to the bottom without dumping
Mhm.
it all over yourself. So,
Yeah.
yeah. There's
It's
also gonna be some cool pregame entertainment, which that was really cool. When I went, they had a very cool stage set up, and Jess Glynn, who is a popular entertainer, is gonna do pregame show on Saturday. And then the main thing, if you're listening and if you happen to be going to the London series, you got to check out the MLB Superstore because you can only go if you have tickets to the game, and they legitimately will sell things there that you cannot get anywhere else, like even online. And
Really?
my husband and I both got jerseys last year that I don't know if they'll be the same this year because they might be more like the current jerseys that are being sold, but our jerseys are like super freaking nice. They're like stitched, like none of that screen
Ah,
printing crap. They've got the really nice, like legit London series patch on them, and they were not more expensive than what they're currently selling the
oh,
shitty
wow.
jerseys for. So I don't know, check it out. Then they just have some really unique stuff that's, like, very specific to the London series that you quite simply cannot get anywhere else, and I think that's cool. That's the kind of stuff that's worth streaming for.
That is my question though is when they made when they figured out who was going where to play which teams,
Mhm.
did they map out and did they say, you know what, we would like to grow the game of baseball in London. Let's have the Mets and the Phillies play because on paper, looking at the Mets teams, you would look at it and be like, okay,
Yeah.
that sounds respectable. That sounds promising against the Phillies. This may be an entertaining series. Or do you think that they looked at the series and said, you know what? We want this to be a pummeling. Let's have the Phillies and the Mets go play in London and get the London people excited about baseball by showing what a good team could actually look like.
Yeah, I think the idea is definitely for there to be the initial hope is for it to be, like, a truly competitive series. Ideally, they're gonna split the series like the Cardinals and the Cubs did last year. I will say I follow, like, all the MLB UK accounts online from my experience or on Twitter, on the interwebs last year, and the Phillies have 20K followers and stuff, and the Mets don't even have 2K. So there's definitely a more established Phillies fan base there. There was a way bigger Cubs fan base there as well. Like, they felt like Cubs home games for sure. And a lot of
Interesting.
people that we talked to when we were like, "How did you become a Cubs fan?" They said that they were Michael Jordan fans, the Chicago Bulls, and so they just began when they started following baseball, they picked the Cubs. So I wonder if there is a similar Philly tie there. If UK listeners, if you're out there, let us know if the Phillies is your team, how did you find them? How did you become attached? I will say as I am getting ready to move to the Philadelphia area, Philly, even way more than New York, has Europe vibes, like London vibes specifically. I should probably know this, but it probably like Philly is probably older and was, like, established earlier than New York. Um, okay,
Listen,
no, they're
I
great.
didn't know that there was
Probably
a
is.
Lake by Chicago. I am the
This is
wrong
not a
person
history
to be
podcast,
asking.
but no, having spent time in London and in Philly, like, there are some great similarities, and it makes sense because obviously, like, Philly was founded and built and is still very much of it is still intact from our founding fathers who came over from the UK. So
Question though, isn't obviously I only do the baseball, so I'm only a baseball girly. Don't get mad at me if I say something incorrectly or quote something incorrectly. But isn't wow, what's his name? He co-owns a soccer team with Ryan Reynolds,
yes, Rob. What's Rob's
Rob
name?
Redfield?
That's the team that they own. He from It's
Okay.
Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Yes,
Okay. So maybe that whole connection and like
totally. They did,
is
like, a
he
hype video with him too. Did you see that? The video that they did with
no,
him and Bryce Harper?
mm-mm, mm-mm.
So, that could be a thing.
Okay.
It's Always Sunny in
Maybe.
Philadelphia. Is that popular in the UK? Again, we need some British friends. I'll have to ask.
I don't know. If you guys know, drop it in the YouTube comments because we obviously are only the baseball girlies. However, there is a rugby team in Houston that is getting like popular. I don't
Mm,
know shit about rugby, but my best friend and I are like, should we be rugby fans? We don't know. Again, we don't know shit about rugby, but it looks fun. It looks like football and soccer mixed, but
yeah,
with
it's a
like
little violent for me, but
without the pads for football, but they
yeah.
knock the shit out of each other and all kind of cool, but ow, but not really. But so I don't know. Maybe I'll start a new podcast about like rugby. You're learning the ins and outs about rugby. Who knows? Stay tuned. But yeah, so
This
Houston
is, uh
Sabercats, here we come.
Hey, you never know when the next big thing is gonna take off. You could be on the ground level with it, so I won't blame you. You
This
do
is
what you
true.
gotta do.
This is true.
Okay, I gotta know
Baseball,
though
Suzy.
incoming. I do need to know how you feel about the BlueJays City Connects because they dropped
Meh.
this week. What do you think?
Meh.
Yeah, that's the only
That's
word I really have.
legit. That is my feeling. Meh. It's not a bad feeling. It's not a great feeling. I did feel hello. Oh,
This is
so
my parents'
with the
dog.
fireworks. Oh,
No, this
try
isn't
that.
the one who's
No.
afraid. He's not
Oh,
afraid of anything.
oh.
This is my parents' dog. I have a third dog in my pack this week. He is the funniest looking little animal. His
Is
parents.
that Charlie?
Yes, this is Charlie.
Okay.
This is Uncle Charlie.
Oh, hello, Charlie.
His parents are in Europe, so he is with me.
Okay.
He's
So
very
if you're audio only, go to the YouTubes and see that we are talking about a dog and he's adorable. But yeah, no, the Blue Jays City Connect, I wasn't thrilled with them. I was disenchanted. Although the red sleeves, like when they wear like the red underneath, I liked that. But obviously it's not part of the uniform,
Yeah.
So the fact that it was just like a black jersey with the Toronto skyline on it,
underwhelming. Yeah.
meh.
And it just looks tacky. Honestly, I don't know if again it's like a quality thing, but yeah, it's like I want to like it, but I don't.
The hype video for it was way cooler, and it was like night. What was it like? Night
Yeah, night
shift,
mode.
night mode. Okay,
Yeah.
so when they're saying night mode, I legitimately thought that I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. Like it glows in the dark. So I
Oh,
thought maybe like the piping of the cityscape
that's
glowed in the dark. The Tampa Bay one. No, you know, it's just the black. No, well, so it's just because it's like dark with the blue. That's what makes it like night mode. I was hence the confusion. So,
a little letdown.
but then in the hype video, it did the whole neon like a glisten thing. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. So I was thinking maybe some of the piping had like that sheens depending on if you hit the light correctly. And I think you only got that on the top level jersey. If you spent like $4,003 on the
Yeah.
jersey,
Right.
I think you got that. But if you only spent like $200 on the jersey, you did not get that. You just got the cheapy stuff. I'm all,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, okay, that's lame, but whatever. I don't know. And for maybe it's just me, but it seems like all of these City Connect jerseys are all dark now. Let's see what base we want. Black. Okay. We can't come up with any other base. No, we
That's
don't want
like
to go
the
City Connect. No. All right, cool. I don't know.
it's them being edgy.
That's what I think of Toronto. Super edgy.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. I think they've all been, besides Tampa Bay, they've all been pretty underwhelming this season. And it's almost like they're trying too hard too, which I know we've talked about this before. But yeah, I think Toronto is probably a really cool place. Rogers Center seems sweet and it doesn't really reflect that, unfortunately.
You can rent a hotel room that overlooks
Yeah.
the outfield.
We gotta do that. Have you been to Canada? I haven't.
I've not.
Gone to Canada. We're gonna take this show on the road.
Well, let's go, baby. I don't know if I'll be able to be let back in though. Odds are I will smuggle in a nail file and be like, Suzy, illegal. I'm sorry, it's just a nail file.
No Astros fans allowed
Yeah,
above the
no.
border.
Pretty much. Pretty much. Although you guys do accept George Springer. So I wasn't thrilled. Wasn't thrilled with the City Connects. So if you guys love the City Connects, Blue Jays City Connects, let us know. If you didn't love the Blue Jays City Connects, also let us know. So in this week's episode of Baseball is Baseballing,
Is
Yes.
what? Is baseballing.
This-
We need like
this
some theme music, some hype music.
like a jingle. Yeah.
Baseball
We'll
is
come up with
what?
that.
It's baseballing. I'm on it. You like that, Sean?
I did. I especially liked the little dance move that went with it. Maybe, oh, you know what we should do? We should make a little cartoon version of us with just like our actual heads and a little cartoon version. And
That'd be fun.
we'll be doing that. That'll be fun.
That'd be-
This is the segment of the show that we've just said, baseball, baseballing, where you look at the things and you're all, that doesn't make any sense. Why is that happening? And that's baseball, Suzy. That's what's happening. So in this week's episode, the Oakland A's, the Oakland Athletics, you heard that right, people. The Oakland Athletics just blew up ChrisSale.
as the Athletics do. He was on a 7-game win streak. No more. The Oakland Athletics were the ones to take him down. I had some specific notes on this game here. Miguel
And Duhar.
Yeah. He went 4 for 5 with a home run, 4 RBIs, and 3 runs scored. And the A's, they snapped a 7-start winning streak with an 11-9 victory over the Atlanta Braves. This was just yesterday, Saturday, June 1st. Sale gave up 8 runs on 9 hits in 4 innings. Brent Rooker also homered and drove in 4 runs for Oakland. We love him. His 2-run double in the 6th gave the A's a 10-9 lead. So the Braves still hung in there and tried to come back for ChrisSale. But number 9 hitter Max Schumann was 4 for 4 with 3 runs scored. Happy Saturday from the Oakland A's.
Yeah, and they didn't even get Mason Millard.
No.
Mason Miller didn't even go with. So I want to say I saw a tweet by Dallas Spring, who is their color commentator, who is a former pitcher, that said, "Screw a cigarette. I need to smoke a whole damn carton."
I did see that, yes.
And I love that. And I haven't watched the game. I watched the highlights of the game and I was like, what's happening? What's going on?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. It is ChrisSale, right? And I want to say before the start, ChrisSale had a sub 2 ERA, maybe almost a sub 1 ERA. It was minuscule.
Sounds about right, yeah.
And then, the Oakland Days, that's who blew it up.
That's what happened,
Of
yeah.
course. Of course.
Yeah, that game was unhinged, some may say. Let me see what ChrisSale's current ERA is now. Yeah, it's still only 3.06, so it probably was.
okay.
And he
It-
gave up eight earned runs in that start in only 4 innings. Yeah. But this also brings me to our other piece under our baseball is baseballing, because I don't think anyone questioned that the Atlanta Braves would be a serious, not just a playoff contender, but a World Series contender this year once again. Are they still as much in that conversation without RonaldAcuña Jr.? Now, some might say that's ridiculous, Kelsey. They're 33 and 24, but they are 7 games back from Philly. And while they're a ways off from being out of the first wild card spot, it's just not what you expected in terms of at least the gap that is between the Phillies and the Braves specifically right now. Is it too early, especially given the balanced schedule, to read too much into that?
I think so. And it really makes me laugh when I see unhinged Braves fans that are like,
Yeah.
it's over. They're
Oh,
done. Well, you still got a winning record, right? I'm not on crack. You guys are
Yeah.
still winning, right? Like
They're
even if
9 games above 500.
yeah. I'm like,
We
even
could
if
we could
Scott
only
Ryder is on the IL and RonaldAcuña Jr. is on the IL, even though RonaldAcuña Jr. wasn't doing anything anyways. So you're doing all of this on the backs of Marcelo Zuna and Michael Harris. So stop your bitching,
Yeah.
Braves fans. I love you, but stop it. What are you doing? I have every confidence in the fucking world that Alex Anthopoulos is making some sort of murder board, spider web trade to bolster this lineup, this pitching factory. Stop it, Braves fans. Okay, so if you're a Braves fan and you're one of these that are crying, oh my God, we're not good. Just stop. Just no. Stop.
The good thing, what you're really pointing out is that the Braves floor is so much higher than like pretty much every other team in baseball. Like even the teams that are outperforming them right now, because they're pretty close to like their floor right now.
Yeah.
And they're still 9 games above 500. So we good.
Yeah. Yep. Just stop it right now. I do have a question for you though. I'm going to circle back to the Oakland A's and Jeannie Kavnar, who we both love, who is the female play-by-play announcer for the Oakland A's. I've noticed has been getting a lot of criticism online for her home run calls, for just her play-by-play calling ability to begin with. And I'm listening to these calls and I'm like, am I missing something? Because they're not bad. Wordplay is good. I've come to the realization that I think a lot of people, maybe a lot of guys, the male species, when females get a little excited, our voice tends to raise in pitch, raise timbre of our voice, isn't as pleasant sometimes. So I'm thinking that a lot of the calls that people are not liking, it's because of that raised tone, and it almost gets a little screechy. So I need people that have thoughts on this. If you guys don't like the calls that Jeannie Kavanaugh is doing, I need you to think about it and really ask yourselves, is it the pitch? Is it the tone of her voice that you're not liking? Or is it her wordplay? Is it her actual play-by-play calling ability?
Yeah.
Because I listen to some play-by-play guys, literal man. And I'm all, how the fuck did you get a job, sir?
Yeah.
So I need to know these things. Because our beloved sideline reporter, Julie Morales, I legitimately adore this woman. She's the cutest, most smart. She has the job that I would die for,
Yeah.
but she was doing the play-by-play, I want to say like probably a week and a half ago, and adorable. She did a home run call for Reggie that it was the cutest call, but her voice got a little screechy for
Yeah.
me personally. And I think I have the misophonia thing, and it got a little screechy, and I'm all, it's adorable because I love her. But listening to it, I'm all, it made me close my eyeball, which is like the one eyeball. Well,
Yeah.
okay. And I was seeing online that it was like, oh my God, it's so good, blah, blah, blah. And what? It was cute, verbiage wise, but tone wise, I'm all, not saying that obviously I would do anything better, but I want to say that I think it's like female announcers. Is it female announcers? Is it the timber
It
of our
is.
voices? Is that what it
It
is?
is.
Okay.
And here's the thing, I don't wanna get too existential with this or anything, but it is that, and it's not that they are worse per se, it is what we are conditioned to, it's what we're used to, it's what we're already comfortable with that is appealing to all of us. No one is immune to that, and that's not just for
Yeah.
home run calls, it's for everything. Like, things that we say we don't like or make us uncomfortable a lot of times are not necessarily things we might actually have a problem with, or just but it's different. We're not comfortable with it. We like consistency, the comfort of a voice that we are used to hearing, and for the longest
Right.
time, the only voices that we have heard are these very similar timbre of male voices, and I have seen so much of that, of people, specifically online and on Twitter, that have said, "It's not that I have a problem with a woman play-by-play or commentator, it's just that I prefer a man's voice," and that's completely fine, like, you're
Right.
entitled to that opinion, but I would challenge you to say, yeah, why, just like you were saying, why are you more comfortable with it? It's just because you've heard it, and so she is being given the opportunity to make this the norm and give us all the opportunity to be comfortable with something different that is just as good. It's just not something that we're as conditioned to. And so that's my take on it. But I think you're right on there.
Yeah. Again, guys, if you have thoughts on this, please put it in the YouTube comments because I legitimately would love to start a conversation about this and figure out, is it the actual abilities of stringing together words,
Yeah.
or is it
Yeah. Cause
the
that's a
pitch
totally different
of
thing.
voices?
Fair. Yeah.
And truth be told, there are some podcasts that I refuse to listen to
Sure.
because of the pitch of the the guy's voices, or the the way the people speak on that podcast. And so I totally understand it. And again, I would love to turn it out. Please and thank you. So
Shall we talk about these IL updates? We've got some nasty stuff going around. I hate to break it to you, Giants fans and Scott Boras fans, but Blake Snell is on, maybe, I don't know if he's officially been put on the injured list yet, but he left today's game with an apparent groin injury. He now has a 10.42 ERA. He has not pitched a full 5 innings yet this year, and this will be his second apparent IL stint. So we talked about this last week. Spring training seems like a good idea to probably sign before. Is
yeah,
this just making an even better case for it?
I would think so. I would think so. There's no opting out for Blake Snell this season. There was none of this. Let's pitch really well and then get a better contract. I think that's what all of these 1+1 deals
Awesome.
expected. And that's not going to happen for Blake Snell. And unfortunately, the Giants went, God damn it. Like, we're stuck with them. But I'm hoping that next season, with a full spring training and a full work up, that he will be the Blake Snell of last season, like the Cy Young winning Blake Snell. But again, people remember, we talked about it. Remember those years between his Cy Youngs? You remember those years?
Yeah. Oh, yep, I do.
And that's why I was like, I don't want my team to sign Blake Snell. Like, I would love to see Blake Snell do well on somebody else's team, but I don't want that, like, that, those Blake Snell years in between Cy Young years. I don't want that Blake Snell. I don't want that. No,
And
thank you.
sure enough, wouldn't it be the Giants that get those years? Yeah. They're like, "Damn it all."
Oh, yeah. Staying in the NL West, though, the San Diego Padres, man, I had all of the hopes for the San Diego Padres. And then the injury bug said, nah, bro, let's hit the big ones real hard.
Mhm.
Yu Darvish and Joe Musgrove go on the IL at the same time. And then Luis Rise goes on the IL today with an apparent like arm injury or shoulder injury from sliding into a base or like trying to steal a
Right.
base. And it looked like that trade from the Marlins was going great because Luis
Mhm.
Rise was doing the thing. And now the Padres. I feel so badly. I feel
Yeah.
so badly for you, Padres. rubber
Yeah, that's like
bands.
a sharp turn in the wrong direction if I ever saw
That's,
one.
but their knuckleballer, Matt Waldron, is doing good things. Michael King looks good, but your two big horses, you Darvish, Joe Musgrove. And
Yeah. Yeah, that's not gonna play out well in the long run, especially they're obviously in a competitive division and needed to outperform what was more or less expected of them as a whole team to stay in it as it is.
yeah,
So, yeah, this
yeah,
is really, really bad kind of writing on the wall potentially for the Padres.
yep. Again, let's stay in the NL West. The Diamondbacks, ZacGallen, after coming off the IL for I think two starts. It's two starts, one start. It's two starts.
I think it was 2, yeah.
ZacGallen goes back on the IL with a hamstring strain, and it wasn't even like an inning's worth.
Yeah,
Think he threw maybe 3, 4 pitches. I think it was like one batter, like legitimately one batter, and
uh,
it was the bullpen.
6 pitches to 1 batter against the Mets. Yeah, so right hamstring, which is also weird that it's his so he's a right-hander. It's weird that it's his right hamstring because usually with pitchers, it's the opposite hamstring, it's the sling. So it's very I don't I actually just realized that as I'm reading this, that it's his right hamstring. So that's really odd. I'll have to see if I
I
can
wonder if he's because I'm right-handed, but also
do you
like
also
I'm
throw
right foot.
96 miles per hour?
Yes, absolutely. That's why I'm
Oh,
here
yeah,
on
tell us.
this. But I also kick with my right leg. My right leg is my dominant leg. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but if it
So,
happened when he's in the windup, it would typically be his left leg, which he's loading, so that would
uh-huh.
be where, like, a typical if a pitcher hurts a hamstring and it's not from running, because he didn't, like
Mhm.
it wasn't on a play or anything, it was just,
I
I don't
don't think
know,
so.
look back on it, but that's weird, yeah, I would have thought it would have been the loaded hamstring that
because it looked like
would be
because he
problematic.
threw the pitch and then he did a weird hop thing afterwards.
Yeah.
And
Something
then,
must have happened prior to the start then that actually irritated it, like, maybe in the weight room or something. It could have even been prior to or a day before or something because that just it doesn't make sense that something actually happened in the motion on the field is all I'm saying because it wouldn't have been his leg that he's winding up with. It would have been the loaded leg if it was something that actually happened, like, on the field. So, that's weird, and I'm reading here that there were some signs pointing to a mild injury as he earlier today Oh, yeah. I don't know. But anyway, Gallen is expected to miss 1 start without going on the IL, but did they end up putting him on the IL? Yeah, so they ended up putting him on the 15-day injured list. So, wait to see.
that's not great.
Gallen now
Not
joins Merrill
great.
Kelly and Eduardo Rodriguez on the injured list. We did hear some positive news trending in the direction of Kelly or Rodriguez, but they do not have rehab assignments yet. So,
Ooh.
yeah.
So that starting rotation is just held together by duct tape and hopes and
And Jordan
prayers,
Montgomery, who
essentially.
also didn't go to spring training. Yeah, great.
Yeah. Didn't Jordan Montgomery get blown up his left shirt too?
He did.
Yeah.
Yes, he
Golly.
has a
Okay.
4.69 ERA currently.
Yikes on bikes.
Yeah. RangerSuarez of the Phillies obviously been another one of the most impressive pitchers so far this season. He got hit with a comebacker off of Alec Burleson's bat in the Phillies and Cardinals game yesterday, and at first it looked like it hit him just, like, straight in his abdomen, but it actually hit
Mhm.
his throwing hand, and fortunately, the imaging came back negative on it, which, of course, is a positive thing, and then today, all of the stuff coming out from the Phillies dugout about how he was feeling and recovering from it seemed very positive. So it seems like at worst he will miss his next start, but are the messaging is that it seems like they really got lucky here in this situation. And fortunately, the Phillies didn't need him to win yesterday, so it was fine in that case. The
Did they
Cardinals, not
need
so lucky.
did, did they need Brandon Marsh to win though?
Yeah, they might have needed Brandon Marsh today because he came out during today on Sunday's game during something that looked it's definitely more of a hamstring than knee, but it looked all too similar to that Acuna Jr. injury where it was like a non-contact injury. You just saw him running and all of a sudden like something was very wrong. And he immediately started hopping on one leg and calling the trainer out and limped off the field. So when you see something like that, it's scary because those guys are
Yikes.
tough and they don't react that way unless something is forcing them to react that way. And yeah, so that could potentially be a big bummer. Haven't heard anything in the last hour or so since the game got over, but I'm sure the Phillies will let us know more soon. Not totally unlike that, Lars Nootbaar was playing in a game versus Cincinnati earlier this week, and he was at bats and a swing. You saw him win after taking a swing, and he is now back on the injured list for the Cardinals with an oblique strain. It seems
What
like
was he on
it was
the what
just
was he on the aisle for before?
so he
Was it an
had
oblique?
no, he had fractured ribs from running into a wall in the outfield in spring training.
Oh,
So yeah, I can't catch a break, but I'm not saying those two things couldn't be somewhat related.
yeah,
That's just unfortunate. Yeah, and then did you see this? This was like a freak thing. Jorge
yeah.
Mateo of the Orioles enters concussion protocol after being hit in the head with a bat in the on-deck circle by Cedric Mullins. So just
Yeah, no,
total
I didn't see that at all.
crazy. I'm still like even watching it,
Was
I'm like, how did that happen?
was Cedric Mullins like practice swinging? Was he like doing one of these
Yeah.
over the
Yeah,
head
he was
like
warming
warming
up.
up? What?
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Ay, ay, ay.
Yeah. It was not great. Not great. You hate to see it, but those are all the bad, scary things for the most part. There's always lots of little things, but those are the big things in the headlines this week. Wishing all those guys a speedy recovery because baseball is better when guys are healthy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. When is Tommy Edman coming back? Is Tommy Edman coming back? Is he dead? What happened to Tommy Edman?
When is the last time we've seen Tommy Edman alive? I don't know.
Oh,
There is
okay.
no plan. There is no plan of return for Tommy Edman, but he is a spark the Cardinals could use. You're definitely not going to have to worry about him in the upcoming series against the Astros. I can tell you that for sure. And I can only hope that we will see him this season at this point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How is
No
Wilson
news.
Contreras
Wilson, so
coming
far so
along?
good. I don't think there's any hard timetable on his return, but as we heard on the national broadcast last week, he's very positive about it. He's feeling good. It seems like things are progressing as quickly as they possibly could. So, no, nothing more specific than he's feeling good and he's taking the time to do the work and making sure to heal, hopefully as effectively and quickly as possible.
Good. I know that Ivan Herrera is doing a bang up job back there in his stead. Is it Fermin that is like the backup catcher now too? Is that who?
I believe Brendan Donovan is still the emergency catcher. Oh, I'm sorry. But we have Pedro Pajes. So Pedro Pajes is the backup
Pajes. Okay.
catcher. And then like Brendan Donovan would be like the emergency catcher. But Brendan Donovan has also not played the last few days because he has a stiff neck, so much so that he like has lost mobility. Like he can't turn his head side to side. So
I
that sucks. Hopefully he's not going to have to actually go on the injured list. Yeah. In that case, I don't know. Jose Fermin, do you play catcher too? He might.
okay. All right. Well,
The
good
lack
to
of
know.
depth on the Cardinals bench right now is it's making me very uncomfortable. So just know that going into the series, that is one leg up that the Astros probably I feel like every team probably has right now.
We have no legs up. Are you kidding me? We have none of the legs. None of the legs up. Okay. We don't know how to play baseball apparently any longer. I did want to talk to you though. The Tuesday start apparently is going to be the bullpen start because Andre Palante is the starter. And I was like, Andre Palante, what's
Yeah,
going on
don't
there?
you know about Andre Palante?
I feel like that's going to be a bullpen game, guys, but don't get it twisted. Andre Palante, their bullpen is pretty good. So
Did you see
don't,
Andre Palante's last start?
no.
6 innings, 3 hits, 0 runs,
Oh,
4
that's
strikeouts.
nice.
They were
Very
absolutely
nice.
expecting it to be a bullpen game, and then he went off and was like, "Actually, I'm gonna throw 6 innings, give you a quality start, no runs." So,
He's all, take it. Look what I can do.
I would not sleep on Andre Palante. Here's the thing about Andre Palante. He is, yeah, technically you could say we don't have a 5th starter, but he is now the option as the 5th starter. He is plan D. So we had Steven Matz was plan A.
Okay.
He's on the injured list. Zach Thompson was plan B. He just got beat up and was just not looking like he was just not working for him. So he's back down in AAA working on stuff. He's only 22 or 23 years old.
I was gonna say, wasn't like Matthew Liberatore an
Matthew
option?
Liberatore is plan C. He kills out of the bullpen, but he just is more of a specialty guy, and it's not sustainable as a starter. He was not able to get through even 3 innings in his multiple starts. He's also just nah. Man, they never give him proper rest or anything when it comes down to it. So I don't know. I have mixed feelings about that, but ultimately, like he is killing it in the bullpen and
Mhm.
should just absolutely be able to get some
Just
consistency
okay.
there. And he is so serviceable there. Awesome. So, Andre Palante, plan D. Here he is. And Andre Palante is interesting in that he has reverse splits. So he is a right-hander, but he is better against lefties. So he has a four-seam fastball that is all but guaranteed to get lefties to ground, to hit a soft grounder and to ground
Okay.
out. He has the highest percentage in Major League Baseball from since the 2022 season on his fastball, leading to the least amount of runs amongst right-handed pitchers in all of baseball. So
Nice.
I don't know if I said that correctly, but it's a thing. You can listen to my Cardinals episode that I did earlier today when I had my notes up in front of me. But yeah, he is like a one-trick pony with that four-seam fastball to lefties, but it's like
Mhm.
it works. And so he's been down in AAA trying to make the adjustment to be at least remotely effective against right-handed hitters. And he's got
Okay.
two pitches that he used very heavily in his last start that he doesn't have the best stuff. He doesn't have the best command, but he has found some pieces that work. And if he can have decent enough command and stay around the zone and not walk right-handed hitters, that's going to like really be the key for him. So if you could just tell the Astros to like not take their pitches, not take competitive at bats and just not getting walks, Andre Palante is going to have another great start.
Don't worry. It will be it that you do not have to worry about. You don't have to worry about because we don't know which version of the Astros will show up. If it's the version of the Astros that will take pitches and work at bats and just keep fouling off and keep fouling off, or if it's the Astros that is just like one pitch, one out. We don't know. And lately it's been the one pitch, one out Astros, and it's been like guys going 8 innings. We're all I'm sorry, what now? What why? Oh, it's because he's gotten, like, 3 outs on 3 pitches? That's why? Oh, okay, good, we love that. It's so good for us.
Yikes. Who have you got going for you? Is Christian Javier back in action yet?
No, Christian Javier will not be back in action for a while.
Oh,
So, him and Jose Urquidy are getting second opinion, and apparently Dana Brown, our general manager, says that he is very worried about Jose Urquidy. Well, I love
oh,
that, Brett.
those are words we
So
like to
good.
hear. Yeah.
So, yeah, we have Justin Verlander going against Gibby.
Kyle
We
Gibson, let's
have
go. That's a good old
yes,
fashioned veteran matchup right there.
that is. But I'm like old guy versus old guy.
Let's do it.
Which of the old guys is gonna have a better line is the question.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, oh, easy, Justin Verlander. But then you're like, is he though? No, don't get me wrong, guys. Don't get me wrong. Justin Verlander has had some great outings this last couple of times. I want to say like his last outing, he went 6 innings, like 10 Ks. Does give up the occasional home run. That's the thing. That's the thing with Justin Verlander. We just hope that it's like a solo home run at the beginning of the inning. That's what we hope. Anyway.
Yeah, don't worry. Kyle Gibson will do that too, and then some, but just depends on the day. So you never know. You
Yeah.
never do know.
Yeah. So I think the second game is Spencer Arrighetti.
And Andre
And that
Palante.
one, yeah, that one will be interesting because as Spencer has gone along, he's gotten a lot better. His first starts were really shaky because it seemed like he needed to be a little bit too fine. He was trying to be perfect and be super
Mm,
accurate and therefore getting blown up. And
mm.
so I think he is trusting his step a little bit more and has gotten, I think this last start, I think was an actual quality start for him, which was awesome for us. And so he has progressively gotten better and better. He's got a four seam, I think he's got a four seam fastball and a curveball. I want to say the curveball he threw his last game and was getting hitters just striking out looking at it. And they're like, wait, where did this curveball come from? And I'm like, have you been hanging out with Justin Verlander? Is that where this curveball's coming from?
All
And
right.
then I want to say Wednesday's game is, I think, Ronald Blanco.
Yes. Blanco versus
So,
Wild Michaelis. That's the one I'm going to
so
be most concerned about on paper.
yeah, that's the one that I'd say most concerned about. Who knows? We'll see. Last start Ronald Blanco, I think could only go 4 2/3. His changeup getting fouled off and fouled off. I'm talking like 12, 13
Wow.
pitch at bat. Like
Okay.
multiple guys doing that. We're like, this is not it. So I guess this changeup wasn't as sharp, but that's the pitch that he is known for, is changeup. So we shall see. But yeah, I'm like hoping, fingers crossed, that we can take 2 of 3
Man, the Cardinals they are not even at 500. They are 28 and 29. They have only been above 500 one day this entire season. The Astros have yet to be have they
We've
even been
yet to
at
be.
500? They've not even been
Nope.
at 500.
What do you
Yeah.
that is unattainable. What are you talking about? Yes,
Well, I
no,
think what's
we
so
are.
funny is I think overall that like people who are obviously like we are fans of these specific teams, so we have our own bias and point of views and whatever, but the general consensus actually seems to be that the Astros still have a better chance to get to the playoffs than the Cardinals. And I just think that's so interesting because I know the AL West is not like overall as competitive as it normally is this season, and certainly that's part of it. But I really just think it's because of how bad the Cardinals were last season and I'm like, "You're forgetting about it's fine. I'm not saying that the Cardinals are not mid and mediocre, like, absolutely. But what I'm saying is, do you think there is another team in the NL Central that is also not the same level of mediocre? Like, more give or take a little mediocrity. So, like, mid-level mediocrity. Yeah, no. And I don't know. The Astros, all things considered, 26 wins versus 28, it's not really that different right now, but it just seems to me, from my perspective, like they are in a much deeper hole and just have some more specific challenges. But I think it was so not foreseen. And on paper, you
Yeah,
still look at them and are like, how is this roster doing this? A little bit
yeah,
more than since we had that moment with the Cardinals last season. They're all like, okay, this is what they're doing now. And
yeah.
I don't know. How do you,
Uh,
I guess, from your perspective, do you think which team has the better chance of getting to the playoffs if only one of them is going to make it?
I don't I honestly don't know because do you honestly think that you can overtake the Brewers?
I do because I don't think the Brewers are I have a lot of respect for what they're doing, but
Uh-huh.
they're not that different. In fact, on paper, they're worse than they were last year in a lot of ways, and I
Right.
don't think it's sustainable. I don't think what they're
Okay.
doing is sustainable. I think they're off to a great start. They obviously have that, like, head start that's
Mhm.
going to potentially carry them into the playoffs, and I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that there's 2 NL Central teams in the playoffs too, especially depending on if the Braves I think the Braves are gonna keep doing their thing, so I don't know. It's too soon to count anybody out, especially teams who are 9 games above 500, and here I am being like, "We can't get to 500," but I don't think I said it in regards to the Braves floor, and
Mhm.
I think it's the same is true with the Cardinals. The Cardinals are very close, if not at their floor right now,
Mhm.
and their floor is higher than the rest of the teams in the NL Central. The
Okay.
Brewers have been playing at the top
Okay.
their potential right now, and for that to be there's absolutely a chance it's gonna be sustainable, but it's less likely that is sustainable, and that's the thing that I think is being overlooked right now, and it's probably honestly because the national media just isn't as invested in and dialed in on the NL Central because 'cause they're not as interesting and fun to watch, but
Right.
they are gonna be the one of the most competitive divisions, I still think, till the last week of September when it comes right down to it,
Okay.
and the AL
Yeah,
West might be too.
I think they honestly, I really hope that the Astros can get whatever stick is up their ass or whoever peed in their Wheaties. I don't actually know what our problem is. I cannot pinpoint our issue.
Yeah,
At the beginning of the season, it was pitching. And now our bullpen, since I want to say like mid April, is one of the lowest in the league.
yeah, the team
So,
batting average has been in the top, if not the top, for the majority of the season.
so it's legitimately runners in scoring position. Like we can't, like we just leave them loaded just all the time. Just runners in scoring position. We don't want to bring them home. That's not a thing that we like to do here. Okay. And that is our number one problem. And I say that it's a lot of teams problems, but I
Yeah.
feel like it's the Astros number one main problem all the fucking time in every single game. And I want to say our record in one run games is something stupid like 0-25. And
Mm,
I'm not even
stop.
exaggerating in that. It's legitimately that bad.
Yeah.
Our magic number to score is 5. We need 5 runs.
The Cardinals do
If
too.
we score
Yep.
5
5
runs,
got score.
we're good. But if we like 4-3, we lost a 4-3 game today.
Yeah.
Why? We've been our starting pitchers have been giving us quality starts. And for those that don't know what a quality start is, that is your starting pitcher going 6 innings and giving up 3 runs or less. So the fact that your starting pitcher has given up 3 runs or less, now we've been very spoiled in the fact that a lot of our starting pitchers, not this season, but like last season and seasons before, they go out and give up no runs. So we have been very spoiled in that. That's what we're used to, is
Mhm.
our pitchers giving us quality starts with giving up no runs. And we need to stop that, because so what a quality start is six innings, giving up 3 runs or less. So the fact that our team cannot score more than 3 runs is indicative of a problem, people.
Yeah. Yeah, they
So
do have one of the worst records. They are 5-34 with a one-run differential. Only the White Sox really looks like it's the Angels are pretty bad. The White Sox are 5-40. But, yeah, I don't know what that's
that's yeah. In years past, it felt like if we were down, that somehow we would use that fire being like our backs up against the wall, the
Yeah.
late and close games. We had that. It was almost a lock. And this season, it seems like if we're down, we're going to stay down. There's no coming back. And when did that change? This season. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm looking here. They are 21 out of 30 for runners left in scoring position per game, which is interesting that they're not higher, but that also means they're probably not getting as many runners in scoring position as well. Because like the Brewers, the Blue Jays, the Dodgers, the Nationals, the Cubs, the Phillies, Cardinals, Pirates, and Mets are all have leave more runners in scoring position per game right now than the Astros, but you're looking at the Brewers, the Dodgers, the Phillies, and you're like, "Yeah, they just always have runners in scoring position," so that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, and it's crazy when you look at the lineup. When you look at the lineup of Jose
Right, and you're
Altuve
like,
and
"Where's the
Kyle
hole?
Tucker and
Why?
Jordan
So many
Alvarez
holes."
and Alex Bregman has literally only just now locked it in. Literally, it turned to June, and it's June. I can cook now.
Time to go.
Jordan Alvarez in the month of May. How many home runs do you think Jordan Alvarez had in the month of May, Kels?
I would guess if I had nothing other than knowing Jordan Alvarez from previous to 2024, I would guess that he had, between 7 and 9?
2. He had 2 in the month of May. Do you want to know how many home runs he hit yesterday? 2.
2?
2. Yeah.
Oh, man.
So
Baseballing again.
Yeah. So you want to know where our problems lie? Jordan Alvarez hitting 2 home runs the entire fucking month of May.
Yeah.
Therein lies our problem. But then you got Kyle Tucker being one of the major league leaders in home runs. And so it's like various guys are going through cold streaks, and not all of them are hitting all at the same time. And so once all of the guys can hit all at the same time, it will be a glorious thing when the catcher that we think is supposed to hit real well is not hitting. And then our backup pitcher, think Jesus for Victor Caratini, man. Good night. I think like
He has been
half of our walk-off runs, Victor Caratini. So
wow.
yeah, so it's been a whole thing. It's been a whole thing. And that's Bourbon and Baseball Astros and Cardinals edition.
I
Right.
guess so.
So
It is. We're over here. We're repping. We covered all the balls first. We get to talk
we
about
did.
our upcoming series a little bit.
Absolutely.
Obviously, it is the series that all of baseball has eyes on. These 2 under 500 teams.
Most definitely. Most definitely. Although it still cracks me up when I encounter people that are like, oh my God, I hate the Cardinals. And I'm like, "Fucking Cardinals, yes." And you're like, like, I'm sorry, what? Like,
I
oh,
actually
okay.
always weirdly I was like a big Craig Biggio girl when I was little, so I always felt like I was like a secret Astros fan when they were in the Central Division, so it's out for me that they're not.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, it makes me laugh when I encounter people that are like, oh my God, I hate the Cardinals. I'm like, we haven't played the Cardinals in I don't know how long. Apparently, Justin Verlander hasn't faced the Cardinals since like 2012 or
I
something.
believe it. It's been a very
Well,
long time. I'm sure we'll
I was
hear
like,
all about it on the
"Wait, what?"
broadcast tomorrow. Yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds about right.
And so it should be interesting. I'm all, how do I was like, okay, so for like fantasy purposes, what even is that lineup? You know how you match up pitcher versus various players and like the stats and stuff. I can't wait to see Justin Verlander versus the stats from like Bryce Harper when he was like on the Nats or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Kyle Schwarber when he was on the Cubs. Although, side note, Kyle Schwarber on the Cubs is like just a distant memory. And I'm like, was that a fever dream? Like, I don't
Yeah.
ever remember Kyle Schwarber on the
Okay. You
Cubs.
know what? I'll share this because I realized this recently and I have not spoken it to my husband. I've not confirmed it. But when my husband first moved to Chicago, he moved here to be with me and I lived very close to Wrigley Field. And so he got a job for the first few months that he was here at Wrigley Field. He worked in the suites there. And he was always much more of a casual baseball fan, more into other sports growing up. So even though he's from the Cleveland area, he's not super attached to the then Indians. And he is a very just happy, fun-loving man, and he really liked that song. Because when you saw him, he was telling you he loves it at Wrigley Field, and he would come home singing it, and somehow I still ended up marrying him, but anyway, I realized so now we're moving to the Philly area, and he really likes Kyle Schwarber. I got him a Kyle Schwarber shirt for Christmas of the Phillies because even then I knew we were planning this move. And I just realized the other day that, like, he likes Kyle Schwarber because Kyle Schwarber was on the Cubs when he
Oh
worked
my
at Wrigley
God.
Field, and he totally likes Kyle Schwarber as a Cub, and that I'm deeply uncomfortable with. So, I don't know. I'm trying not to hold it against him or Kyle Schwarber because we're all on the Phillies now.
Oh my gosh. That
But
was
I
scary.
know that I just know that that's the root of it, and I know he loves me, and that's why he didn't tell me, but I found it out for myself. I put pieces together. Mm,
Oh my
really
gosh.
sad.
Mine's hysterical. If it makes you feel any better though, Kelp, I don't, in my heart of hearts, like I don't feel like Kyle Schwarber belongs on the Phillies. In my heart of hearts, I feel like Kyle Schwarber belongs on the Boston Red Sox. Kyle
Yeah.
Schwarber, the last name Schwarber, just his whole vibe, he feels like he belongs in Boston. And I don't actually know the difference in vibes between Boston and Philly, I'll be really honest. But it seems like he's a much more Boston guy than a Philly guy.
Yeah, he doesn't not fit in with the Phillies, but he's if you put them all together and you were like, "Okay, out of the starting 9, like, who's the odd one out?" I agree, he would probably be the one I would pick currently.
Yeah. Although the fact that we now know that Bryson Stott calls Alec Boehm Raffy, short for giraffe, is
Love that,
fucking
love that.
adorable. I'm not,
National
are you kidding
Broadcast
me right
Gold.
now?
It's one of those nuggets that we got.
Tell me that this is not a nod to Rafael Devers of the Boston Red Sox. Absolutely not, right?
No, I thought it was like, okay, do you know the children's singer, Rafi? Have you heard of him? I gotta reach I'm like, is this even his name? I'm pretty sure I watched these videos growing up of this children's singer.
No, I
Children's
have
songs.
no
Rafi,
idea.
yes, Rafi children's music. And so I was like, he doesn't look like that guy, does it? He doesn't look like that guy. It's definitely not that, but that's what I thought of.
Oh my gosh,
But
that's
like
hysterical.
maybe
Yeah,
Alec
no,
Baldwin really liked Rafi growing up. I don't
that's hysterical. No, I was thinking that it was like a nod to like Rafi Devers, third baseman for
Mhm.
the Boston Red Sox, because Alec plays third base, and so maybe, but then no, and then Bryson Stott because he looks like a giraffe.
Like a giraffe.
I was like,
I know
that's
Alec
basically
Baldwin
what
is
I look at.
actually like good at third base now. Another thing I'm deeply uncomfortable with. It's weird.
I don't know
Yeah.
why you're deeply uncomfortable with it. Secretly, you're now a Philly fan, not so secretly.
I Yeah, not so secretly. I like a lot of the Phillies players and I have for years, but he's one I have never been like super high on. And now he's really good. I can't pretend that I have a reason not to like him.
God
So,
dang it! All right,
and he's
well,
got a cute nickname too.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know.
wait. As long as you're not a Dodgers fan, we'll be good. We'll be good.
Exactly. Exactly. There are some out there far more troubled than I am. We won't
You're
mention any
welcome. I don't. Yeah,
names, but
you're
we're
welcome.
here for
Yeah,
you.
fine. Hey, the troubled people, like when I see something, I gotta help. I gotta help. So
If you see something, say something, Susie. You did your
mm,
part.
I did. I did. So with that, Kelsey, tell the people where they can find you on the interwebs.
I am tweeting about all the baseball on Twitter at KBirdTweets. My weekly podcast piece, Love and Baseball, is out on Tuesdays on YouTube channel and wherever you get your podcast. Susie, where can the listeners, they're listening to us here on Bourbon and Baseball, but if they wanted to listen somewhere else, where might they go?
Definitely hit the red subscribe button on the YouTubes if you already have not. I don't know why you haven't. Share that with all of your friends and family and people you don't even know. Just be like, hey, you want to hear a good podcast? Bourbon and Baseball. They won't think you're weird at all. If you want to listen on the audio side and you don't want to stare at our beautiful faces, you can do that on the Spotify. You can do that on the Apple Podcasts. On any other podcast platform, I don't know them all because apparently there's 4,003 of them. Not going to list them all. You know where we can find us, okay? And on the Instagrams, on the YouTubes, on the Twitter, because it will always be Twitter and never be X, on the Facebook. And with that, we are going to wrap it up and say, yay, baseball. And record. Baby, go.